Hey everybody, welcome to Inside Leaders Heads. This is Kizzy Parks. It was pretty fun. I should have told you that the intro was like 3.5 minutes long because you start out like going like this, get pumping up all your energy, and then all of a sudden, after the first minute, you're kind of like, I got work to do, and you're like, da, 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 da. It was pretty funny. Anyways, this is Kizzy Parks, and so I have the pleasure of having her as a guest. And I start off, but then usually I'm the curator, so I start off just introducing the show, blah 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 blah, for a couple of minutes why I wanted her on the show and stuff. So this is actually an interesting show because I don't think I never knowingly have known a world record holder in the Guinness Book of World Records. And Kizzy is one of those. And so usually we talk about their whole career, their whole life, how they discovered their passion and their purpose and how they live their purpose. But today is kind of special because we're going to see, how long ago did you do it? A couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it's been just a little over a month.
Oh, okay, a little over a month. And so I'm going to be the curator and you're going to lead through a tour of like why she picked this record and all that kind of stuff. So just so you know, Kizzy's world record is 185, right?
182.
Oh, one
there.
Okay, 182, and next year she'll be 185. No, 182 skips on a rope in flip flops in 1 minute. That's 60 seconds. That's over 2 per second. Now, I mean, if you gave me 10 minutes, I think if you gave me 10 minutes, I might be able to do 185.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's over 2. It's like 3 a second, and
yeah.
Set the record.
Yeah, and so I wanted to have her. I'll have you on again when we talk about your general consulting and just your life, because to me you're like Indiana Jones. So every time I follow you, I've known you for like I think a year now, maybe.
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah. So here's like a year in the life of Kizzy. It's like, oh, I'm overweight and out of shape. All right, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna lose weight, and boom, she just does it. It's like, oh, I need $1 million in business or whatever. I'm just gonna go, yeah, exactly. Boom. That's kind of like in it because I say Indiana Jones because I can't remember. I think it was the second movie. He's like, you know what I need to get out of the situation? A submarine and a submarine repair. So Kizzy's kind of like that. She manifests in the world everything she says and everything she wants. It's pretty cool. I aspire to be like you, maybe in like a couple of years.
Well, thank you. It's so sweet of you.
It's taking me a while.
You can totally do it. You can totally do
it. Yeah, I believe I can. I just got sucker punched. I'm still recovering. So anyways, we're going to talk about, so how originally, well, I mean, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and then we'll get into the world record.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. My name is Kizzy Parks and I'm an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, and my passion is around helping people learn how to win profitable government contracts. I also love fitness, breaking goals, doing unusual things. I'm super nerdy. So I live in South Florida.
We may be neighbors someday.
Yeah. Are you moving down?
Well, so not that this is about me, but short story. So my latest move, if I ever made a movie of it, it would be the worst move ever. So I moved to North Carolina from Reno, and then I lost my job like within a month and a half. Yeah, and I bought a big house, and I did all these things you shouldn't do, but I figured, I'm going to be here for 6 years, and the interest rate is 1.85%. Anyway, then through Growth Academy and stuff, which I think is where I met you.
Yes.
I'm like, you know what? I've always been a writer, video producer, music. I should try to make money at that. It's not too late. And so I started working on that stuff. And then a couple of weeks ago, one of my dream companies, Virgin Voyage, anything Virgin, I love Richard Branson, but Virgin Voyage contacted me. I'm like thinking, because I already changed the side hustle like 2 months ago. I'm like, when did I apply to Virgin Voyage? So I had to look back. It was October of last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I just did but that's enough about me. Anyway, they're in between Fort Lauderdale and Miami, but I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
Plantation. They're in Plantation.
Plantation. That's very close to Miami.
Yeah. So anyway, so we could be neighbors. We'll see. I
Yeah,
hope. I
by
mean,
all
I
means.
need to make money. Yeah. So let's talk about this. So you are the world record holder for 100. I'm going to say it many times because it's even because in the Guinness book, there's like strange things. But this one's kind of cool. It's just like I would never have thought of that. So it's 182, not 5. Sorry, 182 skips over the rope in 60 seconds in flip flops, and you got it. I was like, that was pretty amazing. So how did you? What started first? Did you want to do? You want to do the skip rope thing, or you go, you know what? I want a world record in something, and then you found it. How did that happen?
They're very connected. So several years ago, I took a jump roping course. It was a fitness course in Melbourne, Florida, and I fell in love with jumping rope. And then in 2019, I had foot surgery and I was unable to walk for 3 weeks, which I didn't anticipate that. Mm-hmm. And so while during that point in time, I was unable to not only not jump rope then, but I couldn't jump rope for about over a year leading up to the surgery. So I was like, okay, once I heal, I was like, I can't wait to jump rope. So I was looking forward to jump roping because I've always loved jump roping. Then I read the autobiography. I listened to it on Audible about, oh my goodness, I totally.
That's okay. It happens to me too.
Totally blanked out.
We call this a brain fart, ladies and gentlemen. I was thinking about jump roping and I was thinking about how challenging it was when I couldn't walk for three weeks. Mm-hmm. It was just so challenging and unexpected. So I have to get his full name. Please excuse me because I blanked out. So that's all right. I do it all the
time. So I read this autobiography. There we go. I was like, I forgot Goggins' last name. There's so many Davids I know. Like there's a David that I'm working with right now on a football goal. There's a David, my amazing David, who's my sales guy. There's another David who's in government contracting. So I have so many Davids, it's such a common name. So David Goggins, I came across his autobiography. And when I did, I was so inspired by him because he actually he's done so many things. Like he was one of very few Black SEALs, and he said,
"Oh, that guy! What's the name of that book?"
Can't Hurt Me. It's like it has a longer title, but if
I think I've read that. That's an awesome book. Yeah. It's the cover. He's like in white uniform and.
Yes, he's in his navy white.
Yeah, that's a great book. Oh.
And
I look it up.
Yeah, and he's impressive because I thought, he's a SEAL.
Yeah.
He did all of these things, and in addition to losing weight, becoming a SEAL, overcoming all of these life obstacles, becoming an ultra marathoner, he then set a Guinness World Record. And I thought, oh my gosh, I want to set a Guinness World Record. So I said to myself, after I was able to fully heal, that I would set a Guinness World Record jumping rope in spin shoes, because I always like to spin like Peloton, Soul Cycle. I always liked that.
Yeah.
And so I connected with Guinness, and they denied the spin shoes. They said they were too easy. And they said that I needed something more challenging because there was a gentleman in England who has a record for jumping in ski boots. There's somebody, I think, that has a record for jumping in like clogs. And so they're like, you need to pick a different footwear. And so they're like, what about flip flops? And I was like, that's so appropriate because I live here in Florida.
Yeah.
So that's how it all came about. And I trained for about a month or two because I'm really good at jumping rope. Yeah. It was a matter of changing my style because they had to be like the flip-flops you just purchase at your local
and they can slip off easy and they might break.
Right. And they're super thin and super
Yeah.
flat. And they
Probably
had to,
slippery too, right?
yeah, they're slippery because like your feet, your feet kind of sweat a little bit. And so I had to change how I jumped and just be really careful of the angle and then the
Yeah.
rope. So it
Did
was,
it ruin your jumping, or just you have two different styles of jumping now?
I have definitely two different styles. When I'm in shoes, my jumping is different. And I do different types of jumping, like jumping jacks, jumping back and forth, jumping box. I do twists. Like when I'm jumping rope, I do all these things. But in flip flop, I just did forward jumps. That was it, single forward.
That's
Then
probably
it was
same.
all.
Probably
Yeah.
same. Probably same. That's pretty funny. Oh, that's awesome. So did you like have to do this on your own, or is there like someone who knew how to jump in flip flops? Or you just figured it out yourself?
I figured it out with my trainer, Derek, who
Huh?
is like, I'm so close with him. He's like a trainer. He's my friend. He's like so amazing. So we were at Core Fitness, and I meet with him like 6 days a week. He's
Mhm.
amazing. And we just practice. So I would bring him in. I had my little routine. I'd come in and I would jump and he would time me. He would watch my style. And then we started to make adjustments because at one point I was like sliding forward.
Yeah,
So I was
that's not good.
on this platform where you would do like, you do deadlifts and you do different lifts. So all of a
Right.
sudden I'm like moving all around as I'm jumping. So he's like, okay, we got to re-examine this. He's like, you need to, let's focus on core strength. Let's focus on this. Let's change that technique. So he's such an amazing coach through
Yeah.
this. And it wasn't just simply let me pick up a rope and jump in flip flops, but
Oh yeah. I didn't think it would be. See,
yeah,
that's the thing about. I mean, a lot of people like poo-poo Guinness Book of World Records. I used to read it just for fun, but if you look
yeah,
at some of them, it's like, okay, I would never think of skipping rope and flip flops, but I also acknowledge it's difficult to do. But like a
yeah,
lot of things in there, it's like, wow, they had to figure out how to do this. So it's kind of related to something a lot of people do, but then you have to adjust, and that
yeah.
adjustment makes it more difficult. Yeah, that's cool. And so then, over a month ago, you did it, and now, do we have to wait for the next book for you to publish, or do they have online thing?
Yeah, you just have to wait to see what they decide to do, where they decide to put it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I learned, and I encourage those that are watching or watch the restream, you can actually go to their website and search. So you could like type in ketchup, you could type in water, you could type in like sharks, and then you'll see all of the records. Because when I was thinking about which record I was going to set, I literally typed in jump rope, and I saw all of these different records. So,
what was the most fascinating? Well, obviously you've picked flip flops, but what's like one you go, whoa, that's interesting.
oh my gosh! So my evaluator, he's amazing. He's worked for Guinness for over 10 years, and he's based out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And due to COVID, he didn't physically come here. We met virtually, and he certified everything. He shared that he worked with a company out of the Midwest, and oh, get this, they set a record for most people on fire at the same time.
What?
So it was a business owner. So imagine this.
That seems like a bad record to break.
Right, like a bad idea. And imagine this is perfect for those who are viewing. Imagine if your boss was like, okay, so I have a problem. We're going to set 22 of us on fire at the same time. You're probably like, what is this? So literally, that's what they did. They set a Guinness record for most people on fire simultaneously. And I think it was like 22 of them.
Wow. So I kind of had like an involuntary shudder and hair raise on the back of my head because my last 2 jobs ago, I was senior manager of safety in a manufacturer. And it's like, oh, 22 people on fire. I would freak.
Yeah. It's
crazy. Like, oh my God. Wow. That's cool. And so now, Are you thinking of doing another one?
I'm not thinking of doing another record. I am working on throwing a football 60 yards.
Wow. Just
So,
for fun? Or you're going to try out for the Dolphins?
No, I try out for those Detroit Lions. I'm just throwing it for fun. So I just had my third official football practice.
All right.
My third, I mean, seriously, for those that may be watching and thinking, what the heck? I really did. I had my third official practice. I throw around 20 to 30 yards. I'm working on fundamentals, and that's the big thing I'm working on right now. So I have an amazing coach, and his name is David. So he's great.
David, and David.
All these Davids. So David is phenomenal, and I'm really, really proud of my progress so far.
So how did you pick this one? Like, I want to throw a football 60 yards. I mean, I used to be a quarterback. I think that was probably around my max.
Well, I love football. Like, I really, really love football. And I search the distance that many quarterbacks can throw. And I read that, many can't throw that far. Plus, it makes sense the way the game is played. They're not constantly throwing these long passes. So I thought, well, it would be really cool to throw for many reasons, because I never played football. I never played football, and I never played football. So I thought, well, why not? Because
that's right.
It speaks to just life in general, where we hold ourselves back. It's like, well, I can't do this because I didn't grow up with this, or I can't do this because my employer won't let me, or I can't, we always have this, why we can't do something. Right. And I'm not that kind of person. So I thought, well, I'm going to authorize myself to try it, right? Totally not that person. So I train with Derek at Core Fitness. And so we work on.
Not David?
Well, and David.
I know.
So we work on upper body strength. And then with David, I work on the fundamentals. So I'm getting to the point where it's becoming automatic where how I do my feet. I'm working on twisting my body, my stance and all that, the trajectory of where I release the ball, how I release the ball, getting that snap in. I'm working on that.
Wow. And this is why I call her Indiana Jones. I decide to do something, and then it gets done.
I just do it because it's so much fun. It's like
how you do have a lot of fun.
Because the other thing is we forget the importance of play. Yeah. Like when we're younger, no matter where you live in the world or you lived, there's play. We receive so much joy from play. And now it's like there's no play. Maybe video games, maybe. And it's not about being locked down or not locked down. It's just like we forget the joys associated with play.
Oh, yeah.
Me, that's what football and this challenge gives me, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm out here playing. I'm have this different ball. I got to figure out, I got to make sure my fingers are on the laces properly. And it's so much fun. It's like the coolest thing to do the once a week with David and the other days with Derek. I love it.
Yeah. How long have you been doing Core Fitness?
I've been going to Core Fitness on and off for many years, but recently, now I'm in it. I'm dedicated. But with Derek, I've been working out with Derek for over a year. He really helped change my life. He is the best trainer I have ever been with, because he's more than a trainer. He's a friend, and he cares.
Right.
And he's so talented. He went to University of Miami. He his background is strength and conditioning. He also works out with professional athletes. He is phenomenal. And he played football for the University of Illinois. So go Illini. I graduated. There we go. Illini in the house. Go Illini. So
what's his last name?
I'll give that to you offline.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No worries.
No,
he played for a few years. He played. He would have been there maybe 4 or 5 years ago. He might have been there.
Oh, okay.
It was recent.
Yeah. I'm a little older, but I follow them loosely.
Yeah, you might have seen him. He wasn't a quarterback, but he's phenomenal. So but it's really important that not only in your work life, but at all aspects of your life, it's great to have people there that elevate you. and that support you and care.
So just like with the jumping rope, like what came first, the jumping rope, or I want to do a world record, and then explain that. So with your like fitness, well, with everything, is your joy in life come from like inside, or you keep setting different goals to have fun and all that kind of stuff, and that does it, or they go together, kind of like the jumping rope and the world record? Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense, and I'm actually on this path to find out what makes me happy.
Yeah.
So right now, the setting the world record, working on football, other things that I'm doing, like they're totally like make me happy. They're fun. They're exciting. The businesses, the entrepreneurial side is not about like me. It's about making lives easier, my team members, my clients. It's the amazing missions we're part of with the federal government. It's the great clients I have to have through GovCon. And so now I'm at this point of, well, what are these things? What is this business or businesses that really feed my soul and vice versa? So I'm figuring that out.
That's cool. How many people are on your team?
Over 50.
Oh, okay. Wow. And did you start off this company as a solopreneur, or?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I started while I was in graduate school. I was a solopreneur. And then right before I earned my PhD, I was given my first government subcontract, and I incorporated a few months later. This was like 13 years ago. And and just have been going since then.
That's cool. What'd you get a PhD in?
Industrial organizational psychology.
No.
Yeah.
I have a master's in that. But
see?
I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV. That's what I like to say.
That's perfect, and that's why we mesh so well, and that's why you're so passionate about leaders and leadership.
Yeah, I mean, like servant leadership, and then what's it called? John Clayton just introduced me a new concept. It's on I have a stack of books, so it's on the bottom. So I'll probably get to it in a month or so. But it's a certain not weird, but it's something I never heard of. But it's organizational psychology. Oh man, I'll send an email to you what it's about. But he was on my Psych You In show, which is on Thursdays, and I was like, I've never heard of that. It almost sounded like a physics principle, but it's a business thing. It's an organizational group culture thing, and I'm like, I got to read that book. Anyway, so that's cool. So, what's your primary passion right now? Is it the football thing, or is it just finding everything that makes you happy, or is it getting more Davids in your life?
It's more. I know all the Davids. It's
That's your next world record.
Is
the most Davids in someone's life.
Most Davids. I feel like when you would go, it's kind of like the first time you go to like a mega buffet. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I never knew there were so many types of chicken. And you're like, whoa, or like I can have chicken and I can have omelets and I can have pizza and it's 2 a.m. or it's like, some mega Vegas buffet that's open 24 hours a day. And you're like, yeah, it's totally like that. So that's how I feel like I'm at one of those buffets and I'm trying all of these different things. So right now I'm passionate about crypto is a really big area for me, really, really big. That's one. There are some others that I'm kind of like building out and kind of evaluating. So
are you going to do crypto for yourself, or are you going to have your own farm? No, you don't want to talk about that. I'll talk about that offline.
No, not that. For myself, yes. Anything for a firm, I don't know.
Farm.
Farm? Oh, like a farm?
Yeah, where you actually mine for the coins.
Right. I don't foresee that I will farm. I'll definitely like stake my coins and things like that. But yeah, definitely. I love crypto and went to my first like crypto conference recently. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I was looking into my fiance and I figured out the amount of power it would take to mine a single coin. I'm like, well, that's not cost efficient. And so, but wait, what if we got solar panels? So we're, thinking about stuff like that. The sun supplies the power, and then all we do is mine coins. And then, do you know Tony Scullion?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's in Growth Academy. He's a bodybuilder, health coach kind of guy. He's in Dubai. He's a really cool dude. He sent me a thing on a new crypto, and I can't remember what it's called, but I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I need to get into that, but NFTs and crypto.
I know. It's all over the place.
Yeah. And I mean, people are confused by it because they always call it like currency and money. It's like, well, it's not really that. It's more of a more dynamic stock, bond kind of thing where you're predicting the future. What else called? Future. So it's like a futures thing. So it's worth whatever it is when you cash in to get something of value. And I think it's got a lot of potential. So, but you don't know. It's very, people don't like it because they can't. I don't know. It's not $1. So, it's
kind of work from home. Before COVID, it was like work from home. How can you do that?
Right.
And then COVID came, and then it was like, oh, wow, you can work from home. I mean, clearly, if you like a restaurant, you can have a ghost kitchen and only offer delivery. We have many of those in Miami. But as far as work from home, that myth was shattered, and many positions were able to transition into a work from home environment. And that's how I see crypto, where there's this mentality, there are these thoughts, there's these perceptions around it. And I think they're just myths. And as time goes on, people will realize that just because you can't touch it or you think it's affiliated with something bad, that it's really not that. And it'll be like the work from home where you realize, oh, wow, cryptocurrency or crypto is something that I could benefit from.
Well, I think when more people like you get into it, then it'll become more popular. I think the problem, nothing against, it is against them. So just like on LinkedIn, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I could always tell, like when I connect with someone, immediately I get, hi. I'm like, oh shit. And then I already know the rest of that, like, hi, how are you? They never answer. I'll answer, hi, how are you? But they'll never answer. I'll go, I'm fine, how are you? No answer. Then where do you live? I'm like, it's in my profile. It's like, I live in blah, blah, blah. Where do you live? No answer. Then the next question. Then about question 5 or 6. Have you heard about crypto? So, I'm like, no.
Have you thought about foreign exchange trading?
That's right. I've thought about both, and I'm not going to do it from someone I just met who hasn't even bothered to get to know me. Anyway. So, I mean, as far as, what do you want to talk about? Because as far as the Book of World Record and throwing 60 yards and all that, and knowing David's, we're kind of finished with this part of the show because we're going to talk about how you did the arc and got to the skip, and then you've also elaborated on always going after something new and looking for the fun and what makes you happy. What are you most excited about? The football thing, or you excited about an array of things right now?
An array. I'm really excited about crypto. I'm really excited about football. I'm excited about spending more time with my family.
Are they in Miami?
They are all in Western Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My family's all over the place. Most of them used to be in Chicago, but they're all over the place now. Yeah. Oh, Western Michigan. I thought you said Eastern. So Western Michigan is by.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
It's like 3 hours.
Just don't say you're an Uber.
Huh?
Just don't say you're an Uber.
No.
I know.
I've been up there. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I mean, the first time, so people that don't know, there's this upper Michigan, which I never understood because it's actually north of Wisconsin. So I never understood but it's called Upper. And would you say it's a dialect, but they speak a dialect that's sort of in between Wisconsin and Canada. So it's like their own kind of dialect. And They say things like "ain't a hay" and "oh, where's the bubbler?" Hey.
Yes.
Nothing. I mean, it's cute, but it's also
Yeah.
a really nice place in the country. So anyway,
And they have some unusual cuisine up there, like that. Basically, they have a. It kind of makes me think of a take on a Jamaican patty, because like you have empanadas, you have Jamaican jerk patties, and
yeah.
they have something like that. I think they're called a patsies
Oh
up above,
yeah, I've had one of them.
that I think came from the people that were up there doing logging, or maybe
Yeah.
fur trading, and or whatever was going on up there. I'm not exactly sure, but
Yeah, I
it's
don't
really
know the history.
cool that you can get those there. And then on top of it, there's this beautiful island above the UP. When you go up to the UP and you go to, like, you're going to Wisconsin, you go to the left, it's called Grand Island. And so you can kayak to it, or you can pay to go on like a boat, and they'll take you over there, and you can bike it, you can walk it, you can spend the night. And I highly, highly, highly suggest that everyone viewing really look into going there. It is so gorgeous. It was one of the most beautiful experiences I've had in my life. And so it's Grand
I'll have
Island.
to check it out. I've been to the UP, but I've never been to, what is it, Grand Island?
Grand Island.
Grand Island. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. That's pretty cool.
Beautiful.
So, everyone, as you can see, why I love Kizzy, she's Indiana Jones. And she is excited about life. She she thinks it, then she makes a goal of it, then she prepares, and she gets the goal.
Yes.
And then she's happy and she's excited.
Yes.
So usually, I mean, I want to have you on again because we'll actually talk about the whole arc of your life, how you discovered your passion, your purpose, your business, your PhD, everything. So more of a broader business kind of thing. But for this one, we usually end the arc with, do you have any like advice aside from going to Grand Island on the EP, like any advice or a tip, or you like several of how people could be more like Kizzy? Be like Kizzy.
I love that. I encourage you. You have to embrace yourself. And that's what's allowed me to be me, is embracing myself and constantly looking in that mirror and authorizing myself to go on these journeys.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really important is that just reflection, that self-awareness, and acceptance. So this is what I mean. We as human beings, we like to complain. It's easy to complain, right? So if you go on like a Yelp or Google or wherever you like to go for reviews, it's easy.
Yeah, I know how to complain.
Right. It's easy to complain. It's easy. Oh, where's the 1 star? Who's got 2 stars?
Fetches.
Yeah, let's see the complaints. Right? It's easy to say like, oh, this is so horrible. And yeah, there are people that definitely give 5 stars, or they may give 5 stars and don't really explain it. Mm-hmm. I got that. But it's sometimes really hard to make that flip and to say, okay, maybe things are a certain way right now, but I'm okay to now change it, to get me to 5 stars, to make that shift. And so that's where the authorization and that self-awareness is key, and to constantly reflect. So what I suggest is that you're constantly reflecting, and you have to accept it. Because if you're like, look, I would love to have a new job, I love to make more money, I would love to move, but if in reality you can't, then just accept it.
It's like okay. She's speaking to me.
And it's okay. Maybe you're not going to get there today. Maybe you're not going to get there tomorrow, but maybe it's down the road. Maybe in the interim, you do something else to fill that gap. Who knows? But it's accepting and not comparing. Too often we're comparing, like on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook or TikTok or Triller. You're like you're comparing. And it's like, the only one you can compare yourself against is just yourself. Right. That's all you can do. So it's constant development, constant comparison within your own self, and just accepting, and it's okay. It's okay. Like, no one in life is like, oh, that didn't work. I don't know. Like, just, It's okay is the best that I can say. This
Right.
is
Yeah,
pain
yeah,
is
yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the Kizzy Parks Mastermind class. Masterclass. So this now it's time for we call it, I got to change the name because I kind of don't like the name, but it's the shameless self-promotion. So whatever you want to promote right now, just go for it. This is the time of the show. And then I just wrap up with when my next show is and stuff like that.
Here's what I promote. Like, one is, just please have some fun. Do something that's playful, right? Please do that. That's number one. Number two, if you are at all interested in learning how you can maximize on the $500 billion the federal government spends every year, and you're like, hey, I would love to have the federal government as a client. I would love to learn how to win profitable government contracts. Please DM me on LinkedIn. Please DM me. I also want to say, it might take me a day or two. Please don't think that I'm not going to get out to you. God, I told you I'm on a path to happiness, everybody.
Right.
But I've been awarded over $50 million in federal government contracts. So if you're interested in learning, you want to take yourself to that next level, please reach out to me so I can learn more and see if I can be of help and play. Pick up a ball, go play basketball, football. Maybe you're into cricket. Doesn't matter. Just have some fun. Like, take that moment, even if it's 5 minutes. Golf ball, softball, baseball. Yeah. Something, tennis ball, just have some fun. Have some fun.
Well, you know what my favorite sport is right now?
Which sport?
Doodle tennis.
Tell me about that.
I have a golden, oh, she's not here. Usually she sits right there.
Oh, I saw your dog. Your dog is beautiful.
Yeah, she's a golden doodle. And so we have a really, really big front yard. And so I used to throw the tennis ball for her. But the yard now, in Reno, is a very small yard, so it's easy. I could throw it. I couldn't do the 60-yarder. So now I figured out, it's like, hey, tennis ball, tennis racket. So now I just go and slam it as far as I can, and she just goes running for it, brings it back, and I bounce it. Yeah, so that we do that 3 times a day. It's really fun.
Oh, that's so awesome. And you lit up so much talking about that.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. She's my comfort dog. I should get a piece of paper so I could bring her on airplanes and stuff. But then everybody'd hate me because she'd lick everybody to death.
They would love you. Everybody would love you, Mark. We all love you. So.
Well, thank you very much. So is government? I mean, explain just a little before we go. The government pretty much has contracts in almost everything, don't they? So when you were saying that, almost selfish. So selfish, I'm kind of like, what do I do? What I can contract with the government?
For instance,
writing, what?
For instance, they purchase hotel rooms. Okay, you don't own a hotel. I don't own a hotel.
Yeah.
But we both own phones.
Yes.
So you call hotels for the city. Let's say they say Seattle, Washington, they need 60 rooms. They give you the dates. You call hotels, you get the rate, you build in your profit, you submit a proposal.
Really?
I have a colleague, he does that. He provides hotel rooms that way, and he provides temporary housing to researchers.
Wow. You can make money at almost everything.
Yeah, I mean, they buy the things that we think of, like planes and paper services and cybersecurity and tanks. Yeah, but they also are purchasing pancakes, coffee, electronics.
Yeah.
They're buying uniforms, buildings. We've sold Oculus headsets to the federal government.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they buy computers. And I love the work. To me, it's extremely rewarding because many family members served our amazing country. And so I look at it as my way to be able to give back because most of the purchases are also through taxpayer dollars. So it's just an honor to be able to be in this space, especially for so long.
Cool. Good. Well, everybody look up. How can people contact you? DM you on LinkedIn or?
Please contact me on LinkedIn. please go on LinkedIn. You can also, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook. Please come through LinkedIn. Also, you are more than welcome. I'm going to pull it up, so just bear with me for a second.
No problem.
You're also welcome to join my text community, and I send motivational text messages. You can connect with me, and then we
like
can
a
have
WhatsApp thing or something.
it's called community. It's definitely just like a WhatsApp.
Okay.
And so my phone number is 305, like
Let me write it down.
305 853 9481. 305.
Make sure I got it right.
Yeah, no worries. 305.
Is that right?
853, yes, 9481. That is my text community.
Oh, okay.
Yes, right there. Or over there. Please.
Text community.
Yes, and we'll connect. You know, I'll get back in touch with you. I'll give you my direct line. We can talk, you know, or if there's any other way it can be of help. You're interested in setting a record, you want to know something about working out or football, whatever. I love connecting and I love helping, because so many people have helped me and do help me. Just please be patient. Sometimes it might just take me a couple of days, just because I'm just whatever's going on in my life. So Please note that we will connect no matter where you are in the world. We can Zoom, we can WhatsApp, you know, we can connect through Facebook Messenger if you need to, whatever works for you. But please reach out on that community number.
Cool. All right. And this will, since I put it on the screen, it'll come up in the replays too.
Yeah.
Because people go, what the heck's that number? Well, listen to the replay. I probably should have put your name in there too. Anyway, so I just want to thank you so very much. I mean, I really appreciate you and your, admire is the right word. I was trying to think of the right word. I really admire you, because you're always, like I said, you're like Indiana Jones. It's like, okay, my health's not what it should be, so I'm going to go to this thing and get a trainer and I'm going to do it. You know, I like to skip rope. No, I'd like a world record. Okay, flip-flops? Sure, what the heck? I'm going to train for it. 60 yards on a football. 50 million. How many did you say? $50 million of government contracts?
500 billion.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was off by a decimal. $500 million in government contracts. So just get some of the energy. Get some of the Kizzy. Get some of the Kizzy. You can get some of the Kizzy with, there it is. Oh, over here. 305-853-9481. Get the Kizzy. Get the Kizzy. Woo! So thank you very much. If you want to hang out just for like a minute, I'll talk to you in the green room. So this has been Inside Leaders Heads every Monday. Monday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk to leaders like Kizzy. We explore their passions, their purpose. This was a special show because we started off with our world record of 182 jumps in a minute with flip-flops. That's pretty awesome. So, hey, maybe when you do the 60-yard, we'll have another one. But we'll have you on again and talk more about business. And probably by then, you'll be the crypto queen. And we can talk about that too. So, thank you for being on the show. See you next week, everyone. Ta-ta for now.